Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel today. So I thought I'd talk about what is one of the biggest reasons for homelessness in the UK. Okay, and unfortunately it's going to be controversial. Most people aren't going to like to hear it, and it's not about British citizens. So that's going to have you thinking, what on earth could Kevin be speaking about today when it comes to homelessness? And it's the biggest amount of homelessness, and it has absolutely nothing to do with British citizens. Well, it's quite simple, and it's this. Currently, the biggest amount of people becoming homeless in the UK is refugees. Now, there are going to be those of you who are going to say, well, just send them back to their own country. Well, the problem with that is these are people that are accepted as asylum seekers. Okay, so they've actually had their applications heard. They've been given their paperwork and are accepted. Now, the fundamental problem in the UK, so if you take a look at a year ago, under the Conservatives and a big chunk of whilst Labour have been in power, soon as you get accepted and you get handed your paperwork and you said, right, you can stay in the UK for however long it's going to be, you had 28 days for them to get you a place. And normally what would happen is you'd be in state accommodation, and then you would have to fill in the paperwork to do with a local authority, and then they would have 28 days to find you a place. And then if they didn't get you a place inside 28 days, I hate to say this, you was out on your ear. Okay, you was on a street, you could be in a cardboard box, in a tent, whatever. Now, to try and resolve this problem, the Labour Party did one sensible thing, and it makes a change for the Labour Party to actually do something sensible. And you're thinking, what do? Well, they doubled the length of time that they would allow them to stay in state accommodation, which was going to be paid for by the taxpayer. Okay, and they doubled it to 56 days. Now, the reality is, with the strain on council housing nowadays, is 56 days realistically enough time to get people housing? And the answer to that question is no, because the numbers are still going up of people that are being kicked out on their ear and put on the street. Now, what can be done about it? Number one, councils could start building a damn sight more housing, which is something that they probably haven't done in decades. Number two, the country needs to get a grip on the amount of people that are coming to this country claiming asylum, because it's fundamentally wrong, in my book, fundamentally wrong, but people are coming to this country for asylum and then they're living on the streets. I think there's something wrong with that. What can be done to fix it? To be honest, I don't honestly know. And it's not often that I'm short of a word or two. My kids normally tell me, how I'm normally willing to run my mouth. But what can be done? And it's fundamentally obvious, a lot of the things that can be done. One is, why are so many people coming to this country? Well, the obvious reason is because it's advertised how much money you can get. But as soon as you get here, you're getting put in a 4-5-star hotel. Who wouldn't? I've never even been in a 5-star hotel. I've dealt with, from a business point of view, on many occasions with 5-star hotels. I used to do it on a regular basis. Could I afford to go away for a weekend with my wife and put us up in a 5-star hotel? Not on your Nelly, could I? So when these people are staying in them, now from my point of view, I actually feel sorry for them, because they're coming here on apprehensive because they think that it's going to be a better life for them, and it's not. You know, you look back to like the 1960s and 70s, and people ask, you know, why did a lot of people from Pakistan, India come over here? It's an obvious reason. Lots of jobs, and the amount of money that they could send back, they could set up their families back in their home country. And if they wanted to go back, they were going to live a decent lifestyle for the rest of their lives. And I understand that. But the problem is in the UK now, we don't have all those jobs. And there are so many people coming over to here. Now, I've not looked at the stats because I hate looking at the stats for the amount of people that are crossing the English Channel at the moment. You know, it just depresses me. But it still brings you back to what can be done. So, what I'm going to suggest is for you to come up with an idea. What can be done to stop this? Because that's what it is. It's an epidemic. The amount of people that are living on the streets that have come to this country, they're not in hotels. Their time's run out for that. Okay, these are people that are now basically British citizens. Okay, they're not illegal migrants. They're people that have been accepted for asylum to stay in this country. What should be done to help these people out so they're not living on the streets? And that is a hard question to answer because the only people that can do anything about this is government. So let us know in the comments down below what you personally think. But for now, thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you again a bit later.